Hey guys, how is everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Hope everybody's doing good. I see some of you are here in the live chat. Nice to see you guys, as always. It's a pleasure. Let me know how the audio sounds, how the quality looks. I'm gonna have to get like some technical help with the internet connection because this is driving me crazy. I have it connected with an Ethernet cable again, like last time, and I still think it's giving me like bad quality. So let me go over to the StreamYard app. Today, I wanted to talk about mistakes everyone makes going down the rabbit hole or going deep into UFOs or into this topic. It's something that all of us have probably experienced, and focusing again on people that are just getting into this subject, that are just starting their journey. I think giving them some advice from us here in this community might be helpful for them. So I personally have had many instances throughout the years where I've made mistakes, where I've focused my energy on an incorrect hypothesis, or I've looked into a case that later got debunked, or maybe I debunked that hypothesis, or I debunked that case by actually looking into it for long enough. All of you in the live chat, I'm pretty positive, have had this kind of an experience. When I was a kid, I think the first way that I was introduced to the rabbit hole, not the UFO topic or high strangeness, because I had some experiences as a kid that would be considered high strangeness. Nothing UFO related, as always. You know, I've seen lights in the skies and things of that nature, but never anything that I could definitely say was UFO related. Yes, high strangeness, 100%. If you want to see or learn about that stuff, you can check out the channel. Just go back to some of the earlier videos and you'll see. You'll hear my encounters. You'll see and hear my encounters. I don't know if you'll see them, actually. That's the wrong term to use because I'm just telling you what happened. But most of those things happened when I was young. Now, the point of that is my journey started really when I picked up a book for the first time. This topic, when I saw a documentary on television for the first time, obviously before streaming platform, before the internet. I actually remember a time where I didn't have a computer in my house, and the only computer that I could use was at the public library. So I loved going to the public library. Also, my mom would just like drop me off there, and I could just walk the halls and read whatever interested me and look into different topics that I found fascinating. And that's kind of where it all began. If I think back on me as a kid and my mind opening up to the possibility of the UFO topic, I think that at first you go through like phases. At first, you kind of believe everything, right? You want to believe everything. Later, you start to see some cracks, some flaws, some things that don't add up. And then over the years, you kind of learn to think for yourself and to not let a hypothesis guide your way of seeing this topic. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the things that we hear or read or see regarding this topic are still not proven 100%. They're still unidentified. There's still that mystery behind it. Not to say that there isn't good evidence out there, not to say that I'm not a believer, Not to say that there is a lot of information worth looking at out there, but the rabbit hole has its twists and turns, its bumps in the road. And I'm sure lots of you here have experienced that. And I think if it taught me anything over the years, it taught me to accept when I'm wrong and to actually enjoy finding those flaws, enjoy finding the truth, because what we want is the truth. We don't want to base this on belief. It's either real or it's not. Jeremy Corbell was on Fox recently, and he dropped a statement like that, and I thought it was the right way to clarify it to somebody, because lots of people believe that we are doing this because of some like we're so fascinated by the topic that it's like a hobby. It's like a fun pastime. It's like looking in, I don't know, it's like believing in something that's not real, but I truly believe the phenomenon is real. So I focus a lot of energy onto it because I think it's an important topic. Let me check out the live chat. Let me see how you guys are doing. Let's see how the stream is doing. Let me know, guys, in the live chat how it's doing, if I'm freezing up or whatever, just because I'm trying not to run the stream on a separate, like look at the YouTube channel while I do it to try to maybe stop it from lagging so much. But if it's lagging a lot, we could always, I could always take off the image and we can do it another way. So let me know if it's lagging and I'll just throw up the audio. There's also, if anyone knows anything about computers, let me know. Shoot me a message. For those of you that do know, my upload stream right now is 30.3 Mbps, whatever that is. Megabytes, I'm assuming megabytes per second or something. So I should have like a clear image. I don't understand why I don't have a clear image. I'm running the Ethernet cable straight to the laptop. And yeah, this is bizarre, but let's see. Let me try and close everything. See if we can make this work, man. It's so frustrating. It's frustrating because ever since I got the new laptop, I'm having this issue. With the old laptop, it seemed to work fine. I actually can't remember. Maybe it was lagging as well, but it's been a long time since we've had issues like this on the channel. And I hope I can never stop doing these lives because I really enjoy sitting down and talking to you guys any chance that I get. So in the live chat, do me a favor. Let me know if there's ever been a moment on your journey, your search for the truth, where you've looked into a case, you've listened to a hypothesis, and maybe you truly thought this was it. This was, this was that golden ticket. This was what we needed. Or this hypothesis was correct 100%. To then find out that there was flaws in it. Maybe you debunked it. I want to know about those cases because I've done that so much throughout my life and throughout the time that I've been looking into this, that if I try to point out a specific one, we could be here forever. I'm saying I will bring this up. Recently, I have been kind of vocal on my thoughts on Greer. I've said it many times. I respect his work in the past. I respect what he's done for the topic. I don't really agree with where he's at right now. And that's one of those cases where you've been in this for so long that you see people, you see researchers evolve, you see a hypothesis change, you see things kind of get stacked onto their original belief. I've heard people say this about Linda Moulton Howe and just different faces that we see in the rabbit hole, I guess you'd say. But Greer, I think, is a great example of, personally for me, somebody that in the past I thought this guy really knows what he's talking about. He really has his chips all aligned. And now I'm thinking, I don't know. I really don't think, I don't agree with his hypothesis. That's my personal belief, my personal opinion. You may, I don't. And what you'll see a lot in this community and in our community is like the moment somebody disagrees with the majority, disagrees with what we're all thinking, they kind of get attacked. And I have really just been, like I said, doing this for a very long time. So I don't attack people for having a complete different belief than I do when it comes to a topic that is still unidentified, that is still kind of up in the air to 100% what it's about. Now, are there UFOs in the sky? Yes. Do UFOs exist? Yes. But what is the phenomenon really? What does it really want? What is it about? What's the reason for it interacting with us? There's so many questions that we still have to answer, that these beginning steps in disclosure, these beginning steps in what we're seeing with the amendments that are being passed, the conversation that's happening right now, there's still so much more to this question and still so many possibilities for it to flip us on top of our heads at this point, I believe. Then, you can't really walk into this thinking you know everything about it. And we all know that. But you also have to walk into this with the belief that you could be wrong, and with the belief that you might learn something. And it's hard to find that sometimes in this space and in this field. Let me know, guys, how the stream is doing. I'm going to look at the live chat and see what you guys are doing. What's up, Pix? I see Pix says, I'm hoping your examples par excellence is dark journalist. Benji, my man Benji. Benji's awesome. One of those people in the UFO community that's always positive. I've never seen Benji drop any negativity online or anywhere he's around. So thank you, Benji, for always being positive, man. That's the way you got to search for the truth. Open mind, open heart, and just don't let people push you. Don't let people push you over or push you to the edge and make you break who you really are. If that makes sense. Gustav, what's up, man? He says, hey, everybody. Pro Illusionist, one of the people that's always here in the live chat. Thank you, Pro, for always being here. You're the best, man. I see V's here. She's saying, how's Argentina? It's windy, V. It's very windy outside. I was hoping you guys wouldn't be able to hear the wind. I don't think you can, but it's very windy right now. It smells like a cheeseburger in my house because I ordered food before, like an hour ago, and I wanted to go live with you guys before I had dinner. So it's 10 o'clock here. I don't know what time it is where you guys are, but let me know. I know we got a really cool community here with people all over the world, and I love that about this community we have here on the channel. Kepsta says, Greer was what Lou is for Mellon, but he had a Rothschild backing him. That backing probably ended. Somehow Greer had to make money. I think there's lots of ways to be creative in this space and to not step on anybody's toes, and to not just make money the wrong ways. Everybody needs to make a living. We can inspire people by creating things and writing books or creating art or a film. We can put a lot of research and work into those things. And I think that there's nothing wrong with people trying to make a living from looking into a topic like this. I'm telling you, after years of looking into this, I wish I could do this full time. I don't know how to really do that. Even though I kind of do it full time, but I've got my day job. I've got this, and I wish it was all about this, so I could really blossom and bloom and give you guys something worth checking out. But I understand that everyone needs to make a living. I just don't agree with the ways some people do it. Tim F. Hale, No. Hail to you, Tim. So let me know, guys, how everything's going. And please tell me how the stream is looking. I cannot tell. So if it's looking really bad, I hate that, because then later I'll find out when it uploads and I'm like, oh, man, that looks terrible. Ian, what's up, man? So now I was reminded about this, what we're talking about today, the mistakes that everyone makes, because I see also like people ganging up on differences in opinion, on people that have different opinions, basically. I'm a big fan of Chris Mellon, Lou Elizondo, TTSA, and really anybody that does good work in this field. You know, like I said, I was a fan of Greer at one point. I'm a fan of Linda Moulton Howe because of what she's done. I am a fan of lots of people in this field. There are certain people that I can't agree with today that I did in the past, but my thing is like, there is like a big, I don't know how to say this, like a big club of people that put these faces on pedestals. They hold them as their heroes, mistakes, don't have flaws, that are just, and the issue there, everyone is a person at the end of the day. We're all human beings. Our beliefs can change, our theories can change, our approach can change, our life can put us in situations that makes us change what we're doing. For example, what Kepsta said about Greer. And we got to consider that always, especially over time. You're going to see it in the UFO community. I think a good example, too, of this is like Stan Romanek. Look at Stan Romanek. For those of you that don't know who he is, he's the guy that filmed like an ET peeking through his window. He had a documentary. He was on the news. People were truly believing the Stan Romanek story. I mean, he was selling it up. He was really doing a good job with it. And some negative things came to light that actually got Stan in some trouble, some very, very dark things. And he's gone. You know, he doesn't exist anymore in this field. It's like he got pushed out. But there were still a lot of people that were 100% hoping that what he was saying was true, because it would help validate their belief or help them feel like what they were dealing with was happening to someone else, I think. And another piece of advice I would say is like, don't put all your chips in one corner in the UFO field. Don't do that. You can respect people. You can applaud people. You can champion your heroes. You can believe in people. I'm saying, but just like you believe in a person, just remember they're a person. And people have backstories. People make mistakes. And people aren't perfect. So just remember that. Now, are there troublemakers and just negative forces out there? Yeah, definitely. So remember that too. I'm saying champion the right people. And just always remember, like, even your heroes can make mistakes. Let's check this out. Gustav says, I studied physics privately over the last 10 years. A big turning point for me was when James Clerk Maxwell from the 1800s that opened up a lot and eventually led me all through geometric unity. That's interesting. He said, John, you asked about a turning point in our research. So that's what he was responding to. That's fascinating, man. And see, there's people out there, if you give them a chance, like Gustav here, he's looked into something and an aspect of this, like geometric unity, that I haven't. So he could definitely educate me or, guide me in a direction to learn about it. And that's really what communities need to be about. It shouldn't be that we all have the same exact idea or the same exact belief and we can't get along. I was saying this recently to my wife. I was saying, like, with my friends, even my closest friends, I will tell them to their face when I don't agree with them. I will not let them talk out of place. I will not let them say things that don't make sense to me. If they want to, fine. I'm not going to let them think that I think what they're saying is fine. And I do that with my friends. I don't do that with random people. So if you ever see me pointing out a prominent figure in this field or somebody, it's kind of out of respect. It's kind of out of like, hey, I'm going to take the time to focus some energy on you because I don't agree with what you're doing. And I could be wrong. You know, that's the thing about this whole situation, this whole topic. It's the twists and turns of the rabbit hole. And the rabbit hole can definitely get tricky. It can get dark. And sometimes you even can get too much information. You can get onto a hypothesis that you might think, yeah, you know, I've been at a point too where I was like, this could all be a psyop, you know, years and years ago when I was a young teen. And over time, it's like I worked out of that hypothesis, that idea. I've had multiple hypotheses throughout the years. And I think at this point in time, I could truly say that if I am wrong about anything that I believe today, I will accept it. And I think it's going to make me a stronger and a wiser person in the future to accept it and to learn from it. And it'll help me focus on the real target and where I'm headed. So let's check out the live chat and see what's going on. I see Wizard Terrence is here. What's up, Wizard? I love that name, man. Back when I was a kid, there was this, I never knew who he was, but I knew there was a kid named Wizard because people like in my circle knew about him and they would talk about him. And I thought that was the coolest name ever, Wizard. He says, walk the fence always, unless you have absolute truth. Gather all peripheral data to help you see the whole picture. Definitely. And my thing is like, I'm getting to a point where I think the absolute truth, it's all about the eye of the beholder. It's all about perception. You know, one man's truth is another man's lie, and that applies for lots of things. There are people that think scientific truths are lies, and you could talk to them till you're blue in the face about it, and they still won't believe it. So it's like, it's really all just a matter of what you believe, you know, what you're willing to believe. Alien Girl, she said Undead Gaucho's #1. No, Alien Girl is #1. And I want to say, guys, down in the description of this video, if you're new to the UFO topic or you've been looking into this for a long time and you want other people to check out, maybe you don't want to watch somebody who's got grainy footage all the time, you can go down in the description. There's I think it's called a link tree, yeah, with lots of different channels and just people that I respect and that I think you could check out and enjoy. So make sure to go down into the description and check that out as well. Let them know that I sent you too. Leave them a comment. Say, hey, the Gaucho sent me. I found you because of the Gaucho. I think we need more of that. Just people backing people up, supporting people. Let's see. Let's check out what's going on. I see Hacker Mike's here. He says, no way, this is all a psyop. I agree. I don't think it's a psyop, but I'm saying that I think I've kind of evolved and I have always formulated my own hypothesis when it comes to this. And I'm not afraid to have a different hypothesis than most people, or I don't like really agreeing with everybody. I'm not the kind of guy that you put into an audience or a crowd and I agree with everybody, because half the time, everything everyone is agreeing on is wrong. A majority of the time, the things that people are all agreeing on is wrong. But I don't believe that it's a psyop. I do think that there was periods of my life where I've had completely different approaches to this topic and completely different opinions about this. And I've had different opinions and approaches on the faces that we see now. It's all just like a growing process. So really, the mistakes everyone makes, I feel like anyone of you here can agree, if you've been looking into this for a while, or maybe you're new and you've already experienced this, you're going to look at some video online, you're going to think, oh my God, this is so good, and then find out it was fake or find out it was debunked. You're going to put your faith into somebody giving you their hypothesis and then find out that there wasn't any truth there, or it was skewed, or something was wrong with it. It's going to happen. And it's good to talk about it, and it's good to accept it. It's good to know that we all make mistakes on our journey down the rabbit hole, especially with a topic like this. I mean, this is a game of peekaboo. It's a game of cat and mouse. It's a game of tag all the time. You know, you're searching for something. It's part of what keeps me going all the time. I actually enjoy finding a file or a video and going like, let me see if I can prove, you know, what this really is. And if I can, awesome. I'll share it with you guys. I'll let you know on Twitter or wherever I can. I'll keep it and know, like, when I see somebody talking about it, I'll be like, oh no, you're wasting your time a little bit with that. I've been trying to reach out to people and drop them a line or a link sometimes when I see them share something in a positive way. I don't want to like step on anybody's toes or make anybody think that I'm like, I want to debunk things. I just want us to really focus on what's important and what's real. Let's see. Benji says, working for another 30, so can't chat much. But we ain't here, fam. Salute. Thank you, man. Keep working, man. Everybody's got to make a living, dude. Keep working. That is definitely like something that gets under my skin a little bit. You know, the UFOtainment community. The people that are like, oh, you know, it's all about the money. They're all making money. And you know what I got to say to that is like, how much money do you really think you can make looking into UFOs? You can make a good amount of money. But if you're anybody that actually knows anything about money and making money, it's not that much money. Unless you become like the Elon Musk of this topic, which I haven't seen one yet. I mean, I haven't seen one. I haven't seen anybody really capitalize in a form that would be like, oh, wow, that dude made a lot of money. The rest of the people are just like trying to get by. Even Greer, like how much money he's making a lot of money, but I'm saying there's a lot of money, and then there's just money, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I always say, like, you know, if I wanted to make money, I would have talked about, I don't know, cryptocurrency, or I would have talked about photography, or I would have talked about filmmaking, especially on YouTube. Like, do me a favor and share the link to this video now. Share the link to my channel. Share whatever you can, because the YouTube algorithm is not a fan of people like myself, like Alien Girl, like any of these UFO channels. They are not a fan of that. And you have to kind of follow the rules of the algorithm. So here's a funny thing. I like to look into the algorithm. You know, I want to crack the code. It's like Da Vinci's Code, because I know I've seen people do it. I've seen people do it with other topics. And one thing that I still believe to this day is that we need one of our faces in this community. We need a voice in this community that breaks through the barriers that we have in our community and just echoes throughout every other community and is known as like a normal person that is into UFOs, even though I know we're all normal here. You know, I'm not saying that we're not, but to kind of educate the general public that yes, you can be normal and look into UFOs, and you can be awesome and look into UFOs, and you can be epic. I don't know, man. It's just difficult when I say that, because I understand not everybody wants to have a YouTube channel or wants to create a blog or write a book or do a film or all these things, but they're all little ways for us to break into the mainstream. The UFO topic is a fringe topic. Even today when it's being talked about, you'll see, even though they're not playing the UFO music anymore, really on the news or the mainstream media, when they bring people on, they still talk to people in a way that's like, it's not good. We're not there yet. You know, we're not in the green yet. And when we get to the green, we should have people that like, we don't want, do you want like Stephen Greer to be the face of this? Or would you rather have somebody else or a group of people to be the faces of it? You know, people that can like connect with people that can just like not not make this about a fringe topic, but make it about humanity, make it about life, make it about everything. I don't know. So let me check out the live chat. Let's see what's going on. I hope the internet's working fine, because I swear, if you guys are just looking at like a frozen screen, I'm going to be super sad. So let me know if you are looking at a frozen screen or if everything looks fine. Let's see what the live chat is saying. I swear, man, if I called the internet company, if they don't fix this, I'm going to go down to that office. I'm going to start some shit. But let's see. I see Wizard's dropping a lot of knowledge up in the live chat. Thank you, Wizard. Morcavius is here. He says, hello all. What's up, Morcavius? Lisa. Hey, Lisa. Hope you're doing good. She says, I'm just an old lady loving UFOs since I was young. You know, age really is just a number. I swear. The older I get, the more I think that. And that might just be because I'm getting old. That might just be because I'm getting older. But I truly think that age is just a number. You do feel it, though. I feel it. I'm not that old yet, but I feel like any minute I might start feeling it a lot more. Frozen most of the time. You see what I'm saying, man? That's terrible. I don't understand, man. Frozen most of the time. I don't get it. Somebody's got to tell me, because it's got to be something I'm doing wrong. Definitely. It has to be something I'm doing wrong. I really don't understand. I'm checking. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to see if there's like anything I could do to fix it. Okay. I don't think I can. But you know what? Let me try and stream. Let me try and remove my face, but keep the audio. Stop cam. There's the audio. Okay. So let's get back into what we were talking about. I'll keep sharing your conversations in the live chat. I want to see what you guys. Hacker Mike said, "You're mad frozen, son." Yes, I know, man. I don't know what's going on, man. I got to figure it out. I don't think there's any conspiracy behind it. But if I can't fix this, imagine, guys, what's the point of me going live if I can't use like my setup? It's kind of whack. As soon as I turn off the camera, it's giving me like a better connection. That is so strange. That is very strange. Let's see. That silky voice, though. Thank you guys for letting me know that I'm freezing up, man. So, all right. So the camera's off. Let's just leave it off for a minute. Let's get back into what we were talking about. I got distracted. I want to know a situation that you've been in where, like, you were looking into a case, you were looking into a topic that has to do with UFOs, and you realized, like, no, there was nothing there. You know, there was nothing there. I brought up Stan Romanek. That was somebody that I had heard the story. I'd seen the story, the documentary, and all that stuff. And when I found out that, like, who he really was, I already kind of didn't trust the UFO sighting. When I saw the documentary, I was kind of off. I wasn't feeling the story anymore, or the claims anymore. And I think that happens a lot. You know, it happens a lot. The other day, for example, I always look for footage of the graves. I'm always trying to find footage of the occupants. Footage. You'd think that somebody would have footage of the occupants. Everyone always says there is footage. Skinny Bob and the Turkish UFO. And I'm like, guys, I get it. Skinny Bob, really? I'm not a huge fan of Skinny Bob. Lots of people are. The Turkish UFO, they're kind of off in the distance. I don't know. I want something close up where I'm like, okay, that is one of the humanoid occupants that we've heard so much about. So I will spend time searching and searching and searching for this, even though I've said I'm going to stop a bunch of times. But then you hear Lou Elizondo say, like, yes, there is HD footage, HD photos of the occupants in the craft. And I'm like, if that's the case, there has to be somebody that knows how to use a camera that happened to come into contact with these beings and took a photo, or filmed some footage. And I just spent, I mean, I was on a debunking spree. I was like left and right, just, it felt like I was boxing, and I was just knocking people out every time they brought somebody into the ring. I was just leaving them without teeth. I mean, that's how deep I was getting into it, because I'd find something and I'd be like, let me figure this out. Boom, not real. Boom, found the source. Boom, you know, I just felt like eventually I just had a pile of things that weren't real, a pile of footage and videos that had no validity to them. And I'm standing there tired, thinking, how is it that there's no footage? You know, how is it that I can't find anything? There's got to be something. And that's kind of the fire that keeps me pushing, keeps me going. So there has to be something. But that's one of those moments where I go, like, maybe if I wasn't spending so much time focusing on this one thing here, I could have spent it looking somewhere else and looking at something else, and it may have been beneficial to me. It may have gained me more knowledge, because all this hasn't gained, you know, looking into those videos and trying to find that footage hasn't gained me any knowledge. It hasn't made anything better. It just made me gain a bunch of knowledge on how to prove things to people that, you know, to prove things. How do I say this? How to prove to some people that the footage that they're sharing online might be fake. And where the source is from. But people don't really dig that too. And I get it. You don't want to like mess with people's toes. And lots of people have a big rooted belief in this topic. I truly do believe, right? But I believe in a lot of things. And I've totally believed in things that were wrong in the past. And like I said, you learn from that. You learn from it. Do I believe the phenomenon is real? And I have forever. And yes, I still do today. But I'm not sitting around thinking that I have all the answers. I'm not sitting around thinking that the search is done. Even if we have closure tomorrow, that's not good enough for me, personally. I still have so many more questions. I want to learn, you know, why they've been interacting with us, what this repeated message has been from close encounters that we've been hearing over the years. What's really going on with the phenomenon? That's what I care about. I don't really care about the technology other than like it changing the world. I'm afraid it's not going to be used in the way that we would wish it would be used if it hasn't already been back engineered, or that's another thing. People talk about UFOs are real. The issue with UFOs being real, the real danger there, the beauty and the danger, I guess you'd say, is that some of the mysteries, some of the things that we thought were just conspiracies from the past could be true. And then that really changes everything. Because when we were still sort of riding on a belief, some of you are experiencers, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, right? I'm talking as a person who had a close encounter with the UFO phenomenon. If you have, just know that I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when I was younger and I believed in the topic, but nobody was saying UFOs were real other than the people within our circles. Now it's something that's, you know, it's on the front page news. Let me check out the live chat. Let's see what's going on. Kepsa says, Holloman Air Force Base, 3 different cameras rolling, 1970s documentary, has 48 seconds of it. And there was a chit chat. I want to know what they talk about and how. Holloman Air Force Base footage. Marcavius. John Ramirez was telling Jay from Project Unity that he believes Elizondo is being restricted from saying we're hybrids. I found that intriguing after Lazar's claims that we were genetically modified. I mean, the other day I was looking into evolution and kind of, you know, early human, early man. And like it or not, we are kind of hybrids. Just look at it like on a natural, normal level. We're like evolved animals, but we're also like mixed, versions of early humans. So it may not be that far-fetched to think that we could be a mix with something else that maybe helped us skip that, leap that little link in the chain and start evolving a bit quicker. So those kinds of things, they do fascinate me. So that was good. That was a good comment. But I also think, I see Marcavia says, I've heard apes given their DNA modifications. I actually shared a video like a day ago or 2 days ago on my Twitter feed of the evolution of man. And it was the face of a early human. Actually, like it was like a chimp. And then it evolved into a man. And you saw like different stages. And there was a stage in the middle that looked very much like a gray. I shared it. I got one like. I got one like. People don't like talking about evolution. It's funny. Some people don't like talking about it. The religious community, for some reason, doesn't like talking about it. And I think it is a theory, the evolution theory. But I think it's the best one that we've got. Doesn't mean that UFOs and aliens don't tie into all of it, because I really do think it does play a big role in our past. I really do think it plays an important role in our history. And the one thing that's been kind of popping up over and over in my mind when I hear people talk about the topic is like, is it space aliens or was it our idea of like the future? Like when you think of the Jetsons or you think of sci-fi from the past. I brought this up last time too. I think the idea of space aliens may have been like spawned from us not really knowing too much about space, right? That doesn't mean that they don't have craft, they can't travel large distances and do different things, but maybe we just don't see the full picture yet of what they possibly could really be. I think the space alien idea is a very classic concept. And nowadays we can really, if you lay out a few of the different ideas out on the table, it's like, we have no idea what these things could be yet. And a gray, with how it looks and the features it has, I feel like could be anything, right? It could really be anything. Let me try and flip the camera back on, see if it starts working a little bit better. Let me check out how this looks, man. This is so frustrating. I don't understand what's going on, man. And I don't want this to be like a show where I'm just complaining about my internet connection. It's been like that for like 3 episodes now. Or you know what? It's not a show. I said that last time, and I want to make that very clear that I don't believe this is a show. I don't believe that what I'm doing with you guys here in the live chat is like a show. This is like me sitting down to talk to you guys. So there might be times where I don't get to come on here. Like yesterday, I couldn't come on and talk to you guys. We couldn't have an interaction. And I'm sorry. I had some normal life things to do, right? Everyday things to do. And I couldn't get around to finding time. But I really think, you know what I'm going to do? After this, I'm going to write StreamYard. It might be StreamYard. I'm going to write StreamYard. I don't know. But look, the point of tonight's episode, I just said it's not a show, and I'm like, episode. I still have to call it an episode because I still lay it out like that. But for real, there's no like I'm trying to make this as real as possible so we can sit down and talk and we can really like learn a little bit more about each other and learn a little bit more about the topic. So yeah, just remember that. Always feel like you can talk to me. Nala is like going crazy in here. Always feel like you can talk to me. You can reach out to me. You can share any theory, any idea that you guys have with me in live chat or on Twitter or wherever. If you see me face to face, you can do the same thing. And I will always respect your take, your opinions. I also try to respect people's opinions and takes that don't agree with mine. I think it's super healthy to hear different approaches to this topic. Like, if I didn't hear a different approach, I wouldn't understand different ways to tackle it, So let's check it out. Let's see what you guys are doing in the live chat. I see Morcavia says, I'm listening, John. Thank you, man. Wizard Terrence's encounters are escalating. Morcavia says, that's another thing. Is a lot if it fits with religions, all religions in many, many ways. It very much does. And I've talked about it a lot. I try to not focus on it too much because I don't want to, step on anybody's toes or make anybody feel like I'm insulting their religion. I think it's funny that there's this line between believing in angels, humans with wings and these kinds of things, or deities, and having trouble believing in aliens. It's like the word alien has this negative connotation to it, this negative vibe to it that people just can't get past. They don't want their angels to be aliens. You know what I mean? They don't want their deities to be aliens. But the word alien just means not from here. And the deities and the angels and all these beings, they're not from here. So like it or not, those people believe in one way or another in aliens. Maybe they don't believe in flying saucers. Maybe they don't believe in the conversation we're having. But they still have to believe in otherworldly beings because, hey, that's what it's kind of all about. All right, so tonight's conversation, Wizard said angels are aliens. I made a whole video about it, Wizard. I agree, man. Exactly. By definition, angels are aliens, not from Earth, 100%. I mean, nobody else can tell me any different. I get it. I don't want to disrespect anybody or make them think, but they're just getting offended because of the word alien. And I'm like, well, they're just imagining little gray men or little, gray humanoids. And I'm like, it might not be like that. It might be that, hey, a humanoid looking being could be confused for an angel, definitely, especially the ones we've read about in the past. So the connection's terrible. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll figure it out, I promise. And we will go live again on Wednesday. I'm gonna see how much more we can put up with having this terrible connection. But I want to thank you guys, though, Morcavius Wizard, for sticking around. I know some people probably had to drop out, and some people were probably like, oh, this stream is going crazy. But 8 of you here, I can see there's 8 of you. Thank you guys, man, for always having my back, always joining the discussion and sharing your thoughts and theories in the live chat. So mistakes everyone makes going deep on UFOs. I think it's a good reminder, man. It's a very good reminder for people to understand that you will make mistakes 100%. You will believe the wrong thing. You will look into the wrong case. You will. And just think about it this way. Look, if you use the Wayback Machine on the internet, there's something called the Wayback Machine for those of you that don't know. And you can look up cases from the past or cases that we still talk about today is something better to talk about. Cases that are very prominent in the conversation today. I was looking at, for example, the Lonnie Zamora case. And I don't remember. I probably saved the link somewhere to it. But I found a page that no longer really exists other than on the Wayback Machine of a UFO researcher talking about the Zamora case and saying that it was actually a hoax, that it was actually some kids in his college class. It was like a professor writing another professor, I think. And one of the professors asked the other one in a letter, hey, I know you're in the area. What did you think about that Zamora case? And then the other professor says, it was actually one of my students. I thought it would be funny to go, prank law enforcement because supposedly Lonnie Zamora wasn't getting along with the students because at the time, the academic community, I guess, in that area where the sighting took place, they were kind of looked down upon by some of the community for being academics. And there's a letter sitting somewhere on the Wayback Machine saying that it was a hoax. And nobody talks about that today. Nobody brings that up. I didn't bring it up. I didn't share it anywhere because, I don't know, it's just a letter. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that the Zamora case isn't real. It's just a good example of, over time, these cases like Betty and Barney Hill and things that we really, it's kind of the heart of the history to this topic. They get regurgitated. And we're living in a time of fake news and articles just being copy and printed, like copying the words from another article and pasting it on a blog and changing the photos around. And there you go. And you find a lot of things that sound very similar with little changes. And that happens over and over and over and over again all throughout time with this topic. So some cases have gotten to us, or we'll get to the new minds looking into this topic. And they've kind of had that, that game of telephone. They've had that effect where they've kind of manipulated or evolved over time. And people are seeing a version of it that isn't what people were seeing in the past. So you will make mistakes looking into this topic. And the people that don't think that they have any flaws in their theory or their hypothesis, better said, they're going to get a rude awakening one day. Because right now we might be on top, and tomorrow we could be starting all over again. It happened to me when I looked into, I used to be very nuts and bolts as well with this topic. I used to just think about the physical craft and how to get physical evidence and how to get, and then as soon as I started looking into Jack Vallée's work and, really Jack Vallée's work, I realized like it could be non-physical. Then there's no physical trace. What proof can we really get from something that can manipulate what we think, appears to some people as orbs of light, beings of light, to other people as grays, to other people as mantis beings, to other people as, who knows, skinwalkers. How do you have any proof there? How do you get any proof there? How do you study that? And I literally remember just like having to stop. Like I was like, this is too, like, where am I going to go from here? There's nowhere to go. So this is just a reminder, right? I want to do this more often with this channel. It's like give people starting into this topic, some of us that have been in this topic for a long time, a space to sit down and say, hey, there's lots of bumps in the road. Lots of people are chanting victory right away, and we still have so much to learn. So much to learn. We are in a very great space right now when it comes to this topic, but we're also just in the beginnings of it. The players are going to change. The faces are going to change over time. And some of these stories, some of us might be around long enough, some of the cases that we look at today, to see them evolve, to see them grow, to then when the youth of tomorrow are talking about Bob Lazar, the story might not be the same as it is today. And we got to be aware of those things. So thank you guys, man, for joining me today again. I can't say it enough. Gustav says, the Undead Gaucho, these sit downs with you are great, John. Thank you. Gustav, thank you for being here, man. Wizard Terrence says, the angels are among us. I often wonder, like, phenomenon's been here for a long time. If it really wanted to study us, it wouldn't be that far-fetched to think that it could what better way to learn about us than to become one of us, or to really integrate into our society? I know it sounds far-fetched for some, right? It sounds kind of wild, but reality is pretty wild, man. If you think about it, reality can get wild. What do you guys think about the metaverse? I heard somebody the other day talking about the metaverse on YouTube, and they gave a really good breakdown of it, and they said something that stuck out to me. They brought up Michio Kaku, and they brought up his levels of civilization, and type 1, type 2, and I think the metaverse is, like he said, like, or I think it was Graham Stephan, which he talks about like cryptocurrency and stocks and different things like that. So it's not UFO related. But when he brought up Michio Kaku, and he brought up, he's talking about the metaverse, and he says that it's the first step into like it's one of the first signs of us moving from a level 1 to level 2 society. I thought that was interesting. I see how people are afraid of this digital world, but like the world is already so digital, and I do think we're going to become like Ready Player One in the future. I just think that eventually, do you guys think we'll stop staring at the skies? Do you think we'll stop looking up at the stars at night? I don't think I ever will. But I don't know about my kids in the future, I think some of them might actually travel to the stars. But I think there's this fear that people are going to like drown in technology and just be connected online all day. But sooner or later, you got to take the VR goggles off. And yeah, I just want to hear your thoughts on that real quick. But we are in a time, man, where cell phones really do control, the cell phone is the easy way to say it, but the algorithms, I was talking about earlier about looking into the YouTube algorithm. It really does control the way we think. These algorithms really do mold our belief systems. UFO Twitter, for example, hashtag UFO Twitter, that hashtag brings us all together and puts us into the same barrel, right? So we're all kind of talking to the same group of people all the time. And it's kind of the algorithm at work. It's not, it also suggests people to you, and every social media platform that you use does that. And mine, for example, know that I'm into this topic and that I'm the Undead Gaucho, and they suggest who I should follow or who they think I might want to follow. And a lot of people take those suggestions and kind of live by those suggestions. So for me, the metaverse and that kind of thing isn't scary. It just seems like the future and kind of where we're headed, unfortunately and fortunately at the same time. It's kind of like people want to complain about fake news, but everybody's consuming it. People want to complain about fakeness online, but hey, I mean, look at all the deep fakes. Look at everything happening. Like, we're deep faking ourselves. And we're worried about getting chipped and all this crazy stuff. I don't know, man. Like, when I hear that stuff, I'm like, dude, you got a chip literally in your phone. Like, you have a chip, you carry one with you all day. Like, you use a GPS system, everyone knows where you're going. Like, I've also, apart from looking into UFOs really gives you a broad knowledge, actually not broad, I would say a deep knowledge, a deep knowledge on conspiracies. And not all conspiracies are fake. The UFO topic was one that was considered a conspiracy, at least when I was a kid, and now still is, but looks like it's real. I see Wizard said, I don't watch television, it's bad for the brain. I don't watch television either, but we do use computers. I used to love YouTube because I'd be like, I can avoid the ads. Like, I hated ads. I hated watching TV and seeing the ads. I was like, it's brainwashing. They're pushing stuff down my throat. I don't want to see it. And now YouTube has ads, and I have ads on my videos. You know, like they'll run ads in the beginning of my videos and stuff like that. So it's kind of inevitable. It's like we have to just think for ourselves and be wise and be aware. Benji said the best disinfo campaigns start with a little truth. That's true, man. Definitely. And disinfo campaigns are very real, but that doesn't mean that everybody on UFO Twitter that disagrees with us is a disinformation agent. I've been seeing that thrown around a lot online, and I'm like, man, people are throwing that around way too easily. There are a lot of bots on Twitter, which I'm going to be straight up with you guys, is kind of creepy. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that's coming in from where it's coming from. I think if we could follow, maybe next time you get a bot following you, you know, with like 1 subscriber or 2 subscribers, if you think it's a bot, I want you to look and see if it suggests, you know, when it suggests like, hey, you follow this same person, check every time to see who they are following, because one of those people might be the person generating that bot. And I think we need to figure that out, because there are some, I mean, there's a bunch of bots, and I think it's weird too, because a lot of them are negative. A lot of them are not bringing anything really positive to the conversation. It's a bot, you know. But that's a way to check. I think that's my personal thought, to see kind of where it's coming from. See if, because I follow a lot of people on Twitter. I follow some accounts that I don't even like what they're tweeting sometimes, and then I'll unfollow them when I realize. But like, I don't know. I think that might be a good plan. I like this. Morkavi said, you don't need disinformation agents. Totally. Benji says, I always do that. I have a handful of people that I look for, and if a new follower isn't following those people, then I don't pay it any mind. I mean, look, I'm serious about the bot thing. There has to be a way for us to figure out kind of like where it's coming from. But I think, Benji, you're the kind of person that I've interacted with you a bunch of times. You're very cool and open-minded. Just because they don't follow me or follow, you know, some of the voices you like, give them a chance anyways, you know. As long as they're not a bot or just like a troll, give them a chance, man. Maybe they don't agree with what I think. Maybe they don't like my face. You never know. Like, give them a chance, learn from them. That's what we got to do, man. So, guys, it's been a episode without any video, really. And I keep saying episode, even though I said earlier this wasn't a show. It's not. It's not a show. I'm still going to always say episode. But it's been a live without any video. And I think I'm going to end it here because the connection's horrible. I'll figure this out. I'm going to call the internet company tomorrow. And if they don't give me any answers, I'm going to go like all Tom Cruise and just like bust through one of their windows and figure out what's going on, because this is a little ridiculous at this point. Remember, guys, never stop searching for the truth. It really is out there. And somebody's truth could be another man's lie. You will make mistakes on your search for the truth and you're on your journeys down the rabbit hole. But just learn from them. You know, learn from them 100%. I'm going to take some of the advice you guys got, or you guys are giving me in the live chat. And as always, I appreciate all you showing up. Make sure to check out the links in my description. Find the other channels that are out there. Grow your knowledge. Grow your understanding of the topic. And we will talk soon, guys. Thank you for being here. I'll see you guys later in the week.